What's up, everybody? Yes, indeed. OG is back. I don't talk about it, I stay about it. Well, anyways, people, I got to give a shout out to all my followers, my subscribers, and my channel members. Mandatory. But, anyways, again, I'm going to touch just a little bit about the gallbladder today, give you some knowledge of a failing gallbladder. Real quick, I wanted to ask you guys a question, man. How do you guys want me to start doing my videos? You want me to start off with nutrition first and then end in the story, or start off with the story and then end with the nutrition? Let me know. As of today, I'm gonna start off reflecting a little bit again on Renegade Media. He's giving me a different look at the way the system is being ran. You know what I mean? It's brought a little bit of clarity and answers to what I've seen when I went to prison this last time. You know what I mean? A lot of the stuff's starting to make sense now. You know what I mean? It's just it's crazy. But I'll touch on that. First and foremost, man, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all, and get this channel up to 10,000 subscribers. That way I could start doing lives. And on my lives, like I've said, people, I'm going to interact with every last one of you guys. I don't care who you are, what your background is. Why? Because I'm not going to be running paperwork on anybody. You know what I mean? If you come in with respect, you're going to get respect in return. You know, if you come in acting foolish, you're just going to be removed. There's going to be zero tolerance for people coming in wanting how should I say, people that want to gang bang and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That stuff isn't for social media. You know what I mean? That's a actual and factual lifestyle that people actually live. You know, and on here on social media, this isn't the place, man. Quit it already. So, that's just a quick message for you Masika warriors. But I mean, if you want to live in that fairy tale land, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is what it is. What can I do? All I can do is voice my opinion, people. You know, so anyways, real quick, let's move on to Renegade Media. I've been listening to a few of his videos. In that last one that I spoke on and elaborated on about the SNY yards, man, how active they are. You know, a lot of it is starting to make sense to me now, man. The whole, you know, I guess it's just time where I just need to accept it. You know, this is the new day of age. You know what I mean? Whether I like it or not, it's in play. This motion is in play. It's sad. Doesn't mean I have to agree with it, the movement, but it is what it is. And me, at the end of the day, I'm nobody. I'm just a full-time online fitness coach that helps, you know, change people's lives, help people break limited beliefs when it comes to their overall health and conditioning. That's what I do, man. So if you want to check out my fitness program, go check it out on my Instagram. It's High Power Fitness, high_power_fitness_. I got testimonials, transformations. I got meals there. And you know, you can get some free tips and get started on your fitness journey. And then when you want to take it to the next level, reach out to me. Shoot me that DM or email me at highpowerfitness@yahoo.com, man. There ain't nothing to it but to do. You can't talk about it. You just got to be about it. Yes, I rambled on. That's what this cat does right here. I'm known as the Rambler. I think there's a couple people out here on social media that's already labeled me that. That's all good, though. You know what I mean? I brought that name on myself, you know, because I do ramble. I bounce around, man. I'm kind of like a ping pong ball on social media. Just the way I label those people at the gym, the ones that bounce around not knowing what the fuck they're doing, because they bounce around like ping pong balls. You know what I mean? I'm not a professional at this. You know what I mean? Some of these cats are really good fucking storytellers. Me, I just tell it like it is. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to put any motherfucking extra huichol or tapatio on the taco. If you guys know what I'm talking about, huichol, hey, that's his bomb, right? Yeesh, good stuff right there. But anyways, yeah, so Mr. Renegade Media, man, he gave a really good breakdown and thorough, in-depth breakdown of the way the SNY yards are ran, you know. And what I gather out of this is that basically them SNY yards, it's like a combination of YA with the gang banging in there, and it also has a slight twist of a mainline structure, because those organizations, the names that he was dropping, I believe to be northern clicas and southern clicas. So the vision that I get out of this, like I've said, it's something like a combination of YA, the Wild Wild West, with the semi-structured, mainline twist to it. And but there's actually like bullying going on now too, because you figure there's a lot of people over there on that SNY yard that had never really been involved in that criminal world, and they got caught up. I'm going to give you an example, because there was an individual this last time at the reception that I was at. It's his first time in the joint, but it was like his third DUI or something like that. They broke him off with like, I think something like 36 months, man. I said, wow, they just broke this fool out 36 months, man. But only he knew the nature of his crime, you know what I mean? But it was a DUI though, you know what I mean? But yeah, so an individual like this, I had to reassure him that he was going to be okay, because he was a very older gentleman. He didn't understand why things were being ran the way they were, and things were being asked of him, so I had to explain it to him, because there's a lot of cats, trust and believe, man. They're real quick to post judgment on people. Because right away they wanna do something about shit, And yeah, I'm rambling on, but I'm just giving you an example, you know what I mean? Because this would be the perfect example of a person going SNY. Doesn't mean he's a piece of shit. He's just scared. No one took the time to lace him up, So when that officer told him, hey, do you fear for your life? And he actually does. So they locked him up, And that's what happens to a lot of them guys. But from what Mr. Renegade Media, I think his name is Jay Hans or some I don't know. Maybe he's part German or something. Heinz something. I don't know. I didn't catch it. Hopefully I'll catch it, or maybe you guys could put me up on game what his name is. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. When a lot of stuff that I speak on comes out humorous, because I take light of stuff, man. You know what I mean? I take things like a grain of salt, man, because I know where I came from. I know the struggles that I've been through. And that's why I always have a smile on my face, man. Because, I've been asked that before, too, in the past. Hey, OG, why are you always smiling? Well, why in the fuck wouldn't I be smiling coming from where I come from? You know what I mean? I came from fucking being homeless, fucked up on drugs, living in cars, abandoned houses, homies' garages, living in parks, dragging my family around everywhere, because I was suffering with the demon, and trying to cover it up day in, day out, that everything was going to be okay, dragging my family through the streets when they didn't have to. Why wouldn't I be smiling? I'm on top of my A game today, man. I'm a full-time online fitness coach. I help change people's lives, and people that can identify to the struggles that I've been through. And if I could assist them on helping them getting over them struggles, I will, man. I don't care what background you come from. You know what I mean? Because it's very important to reach out to a person that's going through a struggle, because not every person that goes through a struggle will reach out for help. Why? Because we usually have a lot of ego and pride. There's nothing wrong with reaching out for help, man. Real shit. Yes, I did ramble on. But anyways, people, so back to Mr. Renegade Media, man. I'm picking up some knowledge that he's been putting out there. Whether it be positive knowledge or not, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it makes a lot of sense to me the way the system is being ran, though, now, because, when I first started doing time in the joint, you know what I mean? I've never seen people getting DP'd and shit like that. When you got dealt with, it was, you got poked a few holes in, you know what I mean? That was a chequeada, you know what I mean? There was very, very strict conditions on when you wanted to participate and wanted to be part of the movement that was going on, I'm not going to give the titles. I know people like to give the titles. You know, the people in charge, let's just say the people that were blessed to represent a bigger cause. You know, keep in mind, them people that were representing a bigger cause were nobody. They were just somebody holding down the pad and making sure that it was ran the way it was supposed to be ran. You know, even though some cats believe that they're somebody, you know what I mean? But it's for the birds, man. That's a whole nother story. I know, I live that shit. But anyways, so yeah, people, he broke it down, you know what I mean? And it's like I said, from what I understand, you know, the SNY yards are fucking active, you know what I mean? They're off the hook. They're gang banging. Low key, they're politicking in their own way, and they're still running that north and south division. You know, it's just within clicks now to like a YA status. And from what I hear now, they're taking advantage of the civilians. But that's one thing that's a no-no. You know what I mean, on a GP yard. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, obviously you're gonna fall underneath someone's umbrella, but ain't nobody being taxed because, you know, they ain't participating in the reindeer games. So that's something that is way different from mainline to that. But from reality nowadays, man, and I've been told, just about every prison that you Google is considered an SNY because they're majority of now. Mainliners are the how should I say? We're the less population there now. You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyways, I'm not going to get into that. But now it makes a lot of sense now to me. You know what I mean? Because I see that the time today, it's changing, man. It's changing really, you know, way different. I mean, I don't agree with it, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't agree with a lot of shit that went on, you know what I mean? But it was protocol, you know what I mean? I had to follow suit, and I wasn't about to go against the grain. But now if something was absolutely wrong, I would speak my mind, and whatever I had coming to me, I had coming. It is what it is, you know what I mean? Because what is right, and what is wrong is wrong. So anyways, that kind of explains what's going on in that county jail now, man. I've told a story on it, I believe, before, how we were sitting in the holding tank in IRC, and an individual got at it with somebody, and he was talking about this individual. You're a green lighter. What the fuck, green lighter? How's this cat know? You know what I mean? They got off, and they're getting off on each other. And then to run into them, they're both in Supermax with me, to find out he was a green lighter in I guess, in fucking YA or something. I guess they carried it on into the county jail. It was funny, and I had to break it down to him. Hey, man, we don't get down like that right here, homie. It's not the way it rolls. But now that I think of it, you know, there was people getting, you know, they were going heads up, you know, getting it in with homies at the courthouse. You know what I mean? And to me, that's a fucking setup for failure right there. I mean, the courthouses that I went to, they all got cameras in them motherfucking holding tanks. Back in the day, they didn't. You could get away with shit. Not today, man. They got cameras right there. You know what I mean? So, but that homies were getting them in right there, and it's like, what the fuck? Homies getting down. You know what I mean? Doing their thing. And when they were back in their module, supposedly you weren't allowed to do that, but you could go to the laundry room and do it, or when you're on your way to the shower. So those right there reflected on like YA games to a certain extent, except for, I understand in YA it was like get off when you could, anytime you would, you know what I mean? I didn't do YA time. I'm county born and state raised, okay? You know, but at the end of the day, man, like I said, Mr. fucking J Hines or whatever, Mr. Renegade Media, you know, so he's like cleared it up for me a little bit. It's making sense on what goes on and why the system is being ran the way it is now. You know what I mean? And yeah, the GP now, man, is like, it's the minorities. You know what I mean? In the system, if you look up just about any prison, they're all going to come up as S and Ys. That's what I've been told. I've never looked up it. But anyways, people, enough with that. I'm going to touch just a little bit about gallbladder and give you some good indications if you have a failing gallbladder, okay, people? So there are like 12 important signs of a failing gallbladder. Most of the time, a person with a gallbladder issue doesn't experience any symptoms, people. Majority of the time, a person has no idea they have a problem with their gallbladder. However, even though there isn't no major symptoms, no major symptoms of a problem, there are signs that can indicate your gallbladder is failing, okay? Most of these signs are related to bile deficiency because of blockage, but excess bile can also lead to issues, okay, people? Here are some signs of a failing gallbladder. You got visceral pain under the right rib cage, nausea, neck pain, that shoulder pain. Don't get it mixed up with just, sleeping incorrectly. You know what I mean? This is shoulder pain throughout the day, or some people may even get it mixed up with arthritis. Your shit's either pale or gray. When you take a shit, it's floating. You got itchy skin, especially at night, and diarrhea, watery stools. You know what I mean? You lose control over your bowel movement. There's a few other things. Dark urine. You know what I mean? Those are some really good signs of a failing gallbladder, people. Okay, so I'll go into more detail about that if you guys want me to. This sun is starting to get to me, man. It's really sunny out. It's a beautiful day, people. But anyways, people, with that being said, man, I'm going to bring this video to an end. If you want any more information on my fitness program, shoot me a DM or email me at highpowerfitness@yahoo.com. My DM is high_power_fitness_. Leave me a comment. Mention something about fitness or nutrition. I will get back to you. And the individual that I reached out to you this morning, it was obvious you reached out to me while I was asleep, my boy. For those of you that reach out to me at night, my nights end at 8:30 at night. So don't think I'm putting you on disregard or ignoring you, because I acknowledge everybody in the morning. You know what I mean? I go through all my questions, comments, whatever, even the boo-foo ones, the bullshit ones. But anyways, people, with that being said, man, it's a beautiful day today, Saturday. Get your motherfucking Saturday boogie on. Be respectful and make wise decisions. That way you could enjoy many other Saturdays with your family or with whoever it is that you like to spend them with. You know what I mean? Now, with that being said, thumbs up, thumbs down. Just make sure you put that notification bell on all and share this channel. Now get up and get yours. Let's do this.